Hi guys,
Wow, you got like 2 words in.
The reason I laughed is because just before I hit record, I was trying to do an American accent, and then I went back to my normal voice, and it just sounded really weird.
Do you know accents are only
Hey
funny
guys.
for the person doing the accent most of the time?
Why are you laughing?
Anyway, guys, sorry. Welcome back to brand new
Juicy Reacts.
Juicy Reacts.
Thank you so much for clicking on the video today. We have such an exciting one.
See what I mean? It's only funny for you.
Why are you laughing then?
Today we have a history lesson. We've got a 12-minute history of the Philippines. Yeah, we're gonna get our glasses on, we're gonna get nerdy, we're gonna get back to school today, guys.
Dirty.
And we're gonna enjoy this one together. If you've got anything you want us to react to, please send us a message on Instagram. We check all our DMs for reaction requests, and this is where that came from. If you enjoyed the video today, please hit the subscribe button, but we are gonna get straight into this one.
Is there any point in me being here? I haven't really given much to the video yet. Just
You never
sat
do.
here doing the accents.
Oh, if you like daily vlogs,
then watch our other YouTube channel, The Juicy Vlog,
we
and
do have
subscribe.
another YouTube channel, link in the description. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
The
The history of what is today the Philippines started with the arrival of its first humans.
It feels like Jurassic
Whoa.
Park.
Used rafts or
We're going
boats
like
around
back.
60,000 years ago, with groups of diverse people settling
Oh my
in
God,
the
this is
archipelago.
proper
Some of these
history.
groups
The first
started to
humans.
develop and expand into bigger settlements, and in the next thousands of years, they evolved into what some scholars believe to be considered early states. Austronesians and afterwards speakers of the Malayo-Polynesian languages began to arrive in successive waves beginning about 4000 BC. According to the existing evidence, a jade culture existed on these lands.
That's what
starting
humans
with
look
the
like back
Neolithic
then.
era. By
Weird.
1000 BC, it is believed that the inhabitants of the archipelago had developed into 4 distinct kinds of people.
Love the music.
Tribal groups, warrior societies, the petty plutocracy, and the harbor civilizations.
Wow.
Also important
It's like a
to
board
note
game.
is the fact
I was gonna say
the
that, it's like a game.
Netherlands
Or like
reached
Game
the
of Thrones
archipelago
intro.
due to trade with
Yeah.
India. Around 300 to 700 AD, the seafaring people of the islands began to trade with the Indianized kingdoms in the Malay archipelago
So
and the
cool.
nearby East Asian principalities, adopting influences
Got some big
from
words.
Buddhism and Hinduism. Some cultures of
Is
present
that why like
day
Manila and the
Vietnam
capital's
showed
there?
evidence of an
Because
extensive
it
trade
was
Maybe,
the
that
first
the first
hit
one was
land
cool.
for trade.
Trade
See?
Yeah.
such as glass, agate, or gold. There were also other items present in the region.
Geography
which were
lesson
most
as well
likely
now.
Imported, including ear ornaments that have been found in archaeological sites in the Philippines, Thailand, and Taiwan. The Indian culture influenced the Southeast Asian region, starting with the 1st century.
I didn't know there was such an
During the
Indian
period of the
influence,
South
to be
Indian
honest.
Pallava dynasty and the
Did you?
No, I didn't
Indian
know that.
Gupta Empire, Indian culture
So this is going
spread
back.
to
Yeah.
Southeast Asia, and it reached the Philippines,
Wow.
which led to the establishment of new kingdoms largely influenced by the Indian culture and traditions. The date inscribed in the oldest Philippine document found so far, the Laguna copperplate inscription,
Whoa.
is 900 AD. From the details of the
Wow.
document, written in Kawi script, the bearer of a debt, Namwaran, along with his children, is cleared of a debt by the ruler of Tondo. This is the earliest document that shows the use of mathematics in pre-colonial Philippine societies. A standard system of weights and measures is also demonstrated by the use of precise measurement for gold and other items, as well as in astronomy. From the various Sanskrit terms and titles seen in the document, the culture and society of the Manila Bay were that of Hindu Old Malay amalgamation,
Interesting.
similar to the cultures of Java, Peninsular Malaysia, and Sumatra at the time. In the years leading up to 1000, there were already several maritime societies existing in the islands, but there was no unifying political state encompassing.
But it just
the
didn't have a name
entire
yet.
It's
archipelago.
crazy. And Palawan
Instead,
wasn't in that
the
bit.
region was divided
Oh.
into numerous semi-autonomous city-states under the rule of the plutocracy, while a number of states existed alongside the
Well, I don't
highland
know, it's like how we know all this.
I know,
It's
it's
crazy.
crazy.
Structures alternated between being part of or being influenced by larger Asian empires like Maya Pahit.
It was all empires and things
Around
like that.
1225, the nation of Mai a Buddhist pre-Hispanic Philippine island state centered in Mindoro, flourished, attracting traders and shipping from the Kingdom of Ryukyu to the Empire
Imagine
of
seeing what it
Japan.
looked like at
Chow
the time, like
Jakura,
footage of
so
it.
good.
Customs Inspectorate
We used this the other day.
Province, China,
In
wrote
6,000
the
years,
description of the
they'll be able to look back on
barbarous
these times now
peoples
and
describing
have
trade with this
everything,
pre-colonial
videos, news articles.
state. Its
You can see
people
exactly
were
what life was
noted
like.
for their
We can only
honesty
look back
and
about 100
trade.
years right now.
Much of what is
Properly.
now Indonesia was ruled by the Hindu Maya Pahit
Crazy.
Empire. During the 1300s, this empire ruled over Luzon Island and the Sulu archipelago. As more and more influence was on these islands, skirmishes and battles also existed. Some local tribes were
Conflict.
waging incessant guerrilla warfare against them. Eventually, the kingdoms of Luzon regained independence from Maya Pahit after the Battle of Manila, 1365.
Wow.
Sulu also re-established independence, and in vengeance, assaulted the Maya Pahit province of Brunei before a fleet from the capital drove them out. The start of the Islamic era in Indonesia set the collapse of the Maya Pahites as its provinces eventually seceded and became independent sultanates. In 1380, Makdum Karim, an Arab trader born in Johor, arrived in Sulu from Malacca and brought Islam to the Philippines.
One person.
Additionally,
How?
Sharif ul
Crazy.
Hashim, an Arab Muslim explorer, established the Sultanate of Sulu by converting its previous ruler, the Hindu king Raja Baguinda, to Islam and then marrying his daughter. The Sultanate of Maguindanao rose to prominence at the end of the 15th century. Meanwhile, the religion was introduced to the area by Muslim missionaries and traders from the Middle East, Indian, and Malay regions who propagated Islam to Sulu and Maguindanao. As before, when Buddhist and Hindu cultures influenced the archipelago, the same case happened with the Muslim culture. Upon the secession of Brunei from the Maya Pahit Empire, they imported the Arab emir from
This is
Mecca,
really interesting.
Sharif
Yeah.
Ali,
I didn't know it'd go this far
became an
back.
independent
I don't know how
sultanate.
people
The new religion
retain this
started to
information,
grow
though.
roots
There's
in the
so much to
Philippines
know.
through
That's
conquest
true.
and conversion of local leaders in the next decade.
Like actual historians and
Moreover,
stuff that can
Islam
just be like,
was
"That-
further
that's
It's
all
like
these
studying
dates."
history in school.
Yeah.
It's difficult.
I
You have to
struggle to remember.
dates and
Proselytizers
timelines.
from Malaysia and Indonesia. In 1521, the Spanish reached the archipelago through the expedition around the
Okay.
world, led by Portuguese-born Spanish explorer Ferdinand Magellan.
That's when that happened then.
Claiming the islands he saw for the Spanish Empire, he established friendly relations with some of the local leaders and converted some of them to Roman Catholicism. Because the Philippines are a large archipelago,
right?
the Spaniards started to explore many islands. However, the explorer Ferdinand Magellan was killed during the Battle of Mactan against the local ruler Lapu-Lapu. Over the next
Mactan,
several
Lapu-Lapu.
decades,
Yeah.
other Spanish expeditions
Wow, I
were
didn't know
dispatched
that.
to the islands.
Isn't it crazy back then, like one guy in an army of just a ship can go somewhere and say, I declare this land mine, battle me if you disagree.
Who became Philip
It's so
II of Spain on January
weird.
16,
Can't imagine it now.
1556. The name
like a
was
different
then
world.
extended to the
Totally.
entire archipelago.
That's where the
later
Philippines got
on
its name.
in
Yeah.
the Spanish era.
I didn't know about
European
Lapu-Lapu, though.
colonization
Yeah,
began in
I thought it was
earnest
fish.
when Spanish explorer Miguel
It is.
Lopez de
Oh,
Legazpi
it's also a
arrived
place.
from Mexico in
Person.
1565 and formed the first European settlements in Cebu. Through diplomatic and
Legazpi.
military annexation of some lands,
Yeah.
incorporating local states, including the Kingdom of Tondo, the Spaniards established Manila as the capital of the Spanish East Indies. In 1578,
Indies.
the Castilian War erupted between the Christian Spaniards and Muslim Bruneians over control of the Philippine archipelago. The Christian troops were so diverse due to generally being made up of people under the Spanish rule, including Native Americans, namely Aztecs, Mayans, and Incans, who were gathered and sent from Mexico and South America to be led by Spanish officers that had worked together with native Filipinos
So
in
much
military
history, isn't there?
campaigns across
This
Southeast
is one
Asia. The
country.
Muslim
Think about
side
the
was
history of the
also
world.
very diverse,
Mad.
though.
But it's still-
They
it's
were
still going on,
supported
really.
by the Ottoman Empire, with their troops consisting of Malay warriors
History's
and
always being written.
expeditionary forces sent by the Ottomans, which included mainly Turks, Egyptians, Swahilis, Somalis, Indians, Sicilians and others. The conflict ended with a status quo antebellum. Just 20 years after the conquest of Luzon, remarkable progress existed in the work of colonization of the islands and the spread of Christianity. A cathedral was built in the city of Manila with an episcopal palace. Other monasteries and churches were built across islands, and more people started to convert to Christianity. Furthermore, Spanish and Mexican families settled in the new lands, creating stronger communities. Much of the archipelago came under Spanish rule, creating the first unified political structure known as the Philippines. Spanish colonial rule saw the introduction of Christianity, the code of law, and the oldest modern university in Asia. The Philippines was ruled by the Mexico-based viceroyalty of New Spain, and after, the colony was directly governed by Spain. Many of the local people revolted in the next centuries due to some abuses made by the Spanish authorities. Their rule ended after the American-Spanish War at the end of the 19th century in 1898. The Philippines became a territory of the United States. The United States then established the insular government to rule the Philippines. In 1907, the elected assembly was set up with popular elections. The U.S. promised independence in the Jones Act to the country, and the Philippine Commonwealth was established in 1935 as a 10-year interim step period to full independence. But before gaining total freedom, in 1942, during World War II, the Philippines was occupied by Japanese.
By
1945, the U.S. liberated the Philippines, and the Treaty of Manila in 1946 established an independent Philippine Republic.
So
the period of their independence was marked by internal skirmishes and a smaller period of dictatorship, but also huge progress and development, with Manuel Roxas becoming the first president of the Independent Republic of the Philippines. The United States seceded its sovereignty over the Philippines on July 4th, 1946, as scheduled. However, the Philippine economy remained highly dependent on United States markets. Roxas died suddenly of a heart attack in April 1948, and a Vice President Elpidio Quirino ruled the country until 1953. Some communist partisans existed in the islands, but were defeated in the 50s. Additionally, an important event happened in the middle of the 1960s. Ferdinand Marcos took power in 1965 and ruled until 1986. This era included the final years of the Third Republic from 1965 to 1972, and the Philippines under martial law 1972 to 1981. His reign was marked by dictatorship and instability. In 1986, Ferdinand Marcos was removed from power and replaced by Maria Corazon Aquino. Up to the present day, 5 other presidents ruled the Philippines.
So interesting. Is that it? Wow.
I can't believe, how long was that?
12 minutes,
right?
We learned so much.
That was just one shot of a map, but I was fully engaged the whole time.
Yeah, I loved that.
It was just one shot.
Yeah, true.
If it was not, if someone said, "Oh, you're gonna watch 12 minutes of a map," I'd be like, "Whoa."
You'd think no,
that would get boring, but it didn't. It was so interesting.
Also, I didn't know it was going to go right back so early.
Yeah, I know.
We've learned things before, like the American Spanish era and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But I didn't know that would go back. That's so cool.
Yeah, that's so interesting.
Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you have anything else to send us, Instagram is the place. Hope you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. We'll see you in the next Juicy Reacts.
I am useless. I haven't said anything.
You can press stop.
Bye.